Hello and welcome back to the reading vlogs. It is Monday afternoon. It is still really warm, which is why I look like I look. But yeah, I wanted to start this vlog on a Monday because actually I did read a little bit yesterday. Not today because I had a little bit of a medical scare. So I had to go to like 2 doctors, had a long wait time, had to do some tests. Thankfully, all is fine. The symptoms are still there, but I don't have like the problematic things that I could have had. Which thumbs up for that. No, well, really scary problems, which is which is nice, you know. But yeah, so that is a lot of my day went with that, and yeah, now I just need to calm down a little bit, you know. Health scares are really scary. But yeah, I did start Coraline yesterday. I read like 50, 60 pages. I love that book. I will definitely read more tonight, probably, which I will then check in with you tomorrow and like, you know, do a proper check-in, not like here, sitting up top here and doing a little bit of gaming, you know. But yeah, I just thought I'd start the vlog. I have put myself on the waitlist for an audiobook. I am the #1 person on the waitlist, so hopefully it shouldn't be too long so that I can get that. Because I watched some Wired interviews with a biologist, and his style of explanation was so good. He's called Thor Hansen, and he talks about like climate change and stuff. And because I really liked his interviews and they said he's an author, I found one on my library. So hopefully I can listen to that this week because the book sounds really interesting. I will tell you what it's called once I get it. It's something with squids and some plastic squids, I think, and something else. But yeah, so what a Monday, you know. I worked 6 hours, then I went to the doctor for like 4-5 hours, and yeah, now I'm pretty much done with the day, as you can probably understand. And yeah, hopefully tomorrow will be a better day. Hopefully my symptoms will go down. I'm in a little bit of pain, but that's fine. And yeah, hopefully it will not be as warm tomorrow because it's really warm still, and I'm really done with summer, to be honest. I mean, it's nearly September. At some point we should have less degrees, but yeah. So yeah, I am doing good coming out of my reading slump. I filmed a video yesterday, like a little bit of like a reading slump reset video. I'm gonna link it up here or here, wherever it is. But yeah, I did a little bit of a reset to get out of my reading slump, and let's hope it worked. But yeah, I need to edit that tomorrow, so that can go up on Thursday. But yeah, hopefully that won't be too bad with editing tomorrow. And yeah, I will get back to gaming now, and chilling and knitting a little bit. I had to take all of my knit apart. I started doing knitted cardigan, and I had some mistakes in there, so I had to take it completely apart, which there was a lot of hours of work into that one already. But yeah, hopefully I can get a little bit of my progress back today. Okay, so sorry for the quality, but you know, it's dark. Quick little check-in. I just got ready for bed, which is why I look like this, but I continued with Coraline. Right now I am quite a good ways through now. I will finish it tomorrow, you know. It is just as amazing as the last time I read it. I don't know, I just love it. It's creepy, even though I know what is happening, you know, but it is just like a really nice, creepy story for children, and I absolutely love it, you know. So yeah, still a favorite of mine, definitely, and I'm really happy reading it, and I'm really into it. So I will now switch to an audiobook and do some knitting while lying in bed and snuggling with the dog. So yeah, obviously I won't film that because my partner's lying there as well and stuff like that, you know. But yeah, I will see you tomorrow. just finished Coraline, and it is still as great as the first time I read it. I love this story. I really need to look up more similar stories to Coraline. I think even though it's a children's story, it's like a really, really nice read, you know? And yeah, I love her. I think, I don't know, I think it's nice to just have a book about bravery that isn't over the top, you know? And it's kind of like, you know, I also had like a good imagination at the age she's at, and so yeah, there's something I could have dreamed up. It feels like a fever dream, which I really, really like, because it doesn't take away from the story that it kind of feels like a dream, you know? So yeah, I absolutely love this book. I'm glad that I reread it now. I might need to do that like on like a yearly basis, you know? Probably more like in right around Halloween maybe. I mean, to be honest, obviously it's not that scary, but it is a scary story for children, you know? But I kind of love it, you know? The whole concept, I love. That is one thing. I mean, I kind of like in the film that she has like a little companion. But I love that in the book she's just on her own and she has to figure it out on her own. And really doesn't have any friends her age, you know, so that kind of like fires her imagination more. And yeah, big fan. I do also kind of need to continue with Neil Gaiman and his books. I do know that I don't own all of them. I own quite a few of them, but not all, so I need to continue with that one. But yeah, I finished it. So, after finishing Coraline yesterday, I did start the next book. So I did start Fallen because I was really much in a mood for a thriller. I'm searching for some crime series right now, but somehow they all really annoy me when I start them because I don't know if that's a trend, but the main characters, the like people with the special abilities, which are rarely detectives, they always seem to be kind of assholes, and I'm really sick of that, to be honest. So yeah, I don't know. I wanted some crime, so I got this. It starts really, really heavy, I would say. But let's start with the fact that I feel like I should read this in like the order the series is in, which might be a bad idea, but I will still continue with this because I do want to read it. But yeah, because obviously our main characters already have like a relationship of some kind, and I don't know that because I haven't read the other books, but I hope that it won't make any difference, but if it does, I will, I think, go back and try to get the whole series so I can read it in the right order. But yeah, our main character at the beginning is Faith, and she's a cop, and she drives home from a training. She has a 4-month-old daughter, and she's with her mother. And because the police training took longer than thought, she tries to call her mother, and her mother doesn't answer. So she worries. I mean, you do, you know, if you have a 4-month-old child and you can't reach your mother, obviously you panic. And once she comes back to her mother's, there's blood everywhere. Her mother isn't there. Her daughter is like safely locked away in a shed, and so yeah, obviously something has happened, and that's pretty much the point I'm at. I only read like 30 pages yesterday, but yeah, that is how it starts, and there is a second main character, I assume, which is Will Trent. So yeah, that is her partner in the police force. So I guess he comes in at some point. I know there's a series called Will Trent. I think it is about these books. But yeah, I haven't started watching that yet because obviously I want to read the books, and I hate watching the series and then reading the books, so I probably won't watch that series. But yeah, so it starts really intriguing. I'm interested to see where this goes, what her mother has to do with all of it, and yeah, how her partner is, their dynamic. I'm kinda, I don't know, I always hope they have like a good non-sexual dynamic. I hate it when they put like the sexual dynamic in there. I think it's weird, but yeah, I will now continue with this one, and we'll see. I think I will take like an hour to read a little bit and then do a little bit of other stuff. I do want to do some knitting today, some more to continue with my cardigan I'm actually knitting right now, which I might show you later on tomorrow at some point. It's upstairs because I do tend to knit in front of my PC when I'm watching something. So yeah, I might show you that at some point if you're interested in it. I don't know if anybody is interested in that, because obviously that's about books here, but you know. So yeah, let's continue with this one. So, I continued with Fallen today, and I have to revisit some things I said. I don't know, I haven't looked it up yet, but I don't know if she's written another series or like standalone novels, because I'm not quite sure that I have never read anything from this Will Trent series, because nothing really, you know, rings a bell with me, so I don't know. I don't think I've read anything from the series, and I don't know if I like the series right now. I am not quite halfway through. I think I'm missing like 30-40 pages to be halfway through, and this is pretty much a story about corrupt cops, at least it seems that way right now, and a really dysfunctional family of the cop in question. Well, the cop that is missing right now, she wasn't held accountable for what her team did, and her team pretty much stole money from what the drug deals they busted. And yeah, so that is pretty much why it's called Fallen, I think. But the thing is, our main character, Faith, the daughter of the woman who's missing, she is 15 years in the cop. Well, she works for 15 years as a cop already. And her partner is the one who busted the guys, the cops that worked under her mother, and he investigated his mother as well. But the mother said it's fine, you know, we get some hints that the mother maybe also embezzled money, but was never caught for that, and the boss of her daughter is a friend of her mother, so it's all like really intertwined. And then we have Will Trent, who is dyslexic, which like nice, it's representation. But yeah, I kind of feel like you need to read these in order, because I have no idea, but it seems like all of these characters, you know, have no relationship at all together, but this is, as far as I can see, this is part, wait for it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, this might be part 12 of the series, at least. But they might not all be of this series, but at least this is all the books that are in the beginning of this one. Because it kind of feels like first part, but kind of not, because I'm kind of missing clues for the relationships. But I mean, the book says Faith is working for 2 years with Will, and somehow they don't really communicate at all, even though, you know, her mother got captured and stuff, and she's kind of trying to do it all alone, even though she, you know, she has cops that are supposed to work with her, but they kind of don't like her, and it's really, really weird. I feel like all of the relationships feel really, really weird, and yeah, you have to imagine Faith got pregnant at 15, and she ruined her brother's life because of the time it was, but you know, it's all, I don't know, I'm not the biggest fan at the moment. I think that's what it's coming down to. I am hopeful that I can finish it tomorrow, but we'll see, to be honest. Because I kind of need a break from it today. So I will not continue today, but I will definitely finish it. But yeah, I don't think I'm hooked by this book. But then again, it might be the first one, so I don't know, maybe it's better if you read those series. Let me look up the other book I have by her, if it's also a Will Trent novel. So this one that I have is also a Will Trent novel. The case does sound a lot more interesting, if I'm gonna be honest, because this has something to do with tortured women not that tortured women per se are more interesting, but you know what I mean, you know, it sounds more like a really gripping thriller, because it's also, I feel like we have 3 main characters, because right now, as I see, we have Sarah Linden here, which is also a big part here, because she's kind of like, she seems to want to have a relationship with Bill. I don't know in which relationship these books stand, because here Genesis isn't named, which is this one. Let's see. Yeah, but here Genesis is mentioned, but not this book. So I'm assuming this one comes before this one. So yeah, maybe I should have read this one first, but now it's too late, you know, I'm already in. But I don't really know. I think I kind of mistaken her for Simon Beckett, which doesn't make sense, because Simon Beckett is a guy and not a woman, as far as I know. But I do know that I've read, well, I have some Simon Beckett books in my bookshelf, the German ones, so I might have just mistaken the topic of the books for ones from Karen Slaughter, but I'm still sure I've read something else from her that wasn't this series. But I'm not sure anymore, you know? So yeah, I don't know. You know, I also find it funny that on the back there's a quote from Chicago Tribune, and it says, Slaughter creates some wonderfully complex and mature female characters. I don't feel like any of these women are particularly mature. All of them feel kind of like secretive people who don't really trust anyone around them. I don't know that I would say that that is a mature thing, but you know, maybe it gets better with time. But yeah, I'm not convinced of the book, so yeah, I'm kind of afraid when it comes to this one, to be honest. But we'll see. I will continue tomorrow. Tomorrow is Friday, so I will at least finish the book this week before the vlog ends, so I can, you know, give you the ending of that. And then I am nearly finished with Hurricane Lizards and Plastic Squid, I think is the name of the audiobook by Thor Hansen that I'm listening to right now. It is about the climate change and the adaptivity, or the way elements aren't able to adapt to the climate change, and kind of like the consequences of climate change, and you know, showing that it's not only like higher temperatures, but like different water movements and different water levels, and you know, more rain, less rain, different growth of trees and stuff, and birds migrating at different times and stuff. You know, all of that really, really interesting. I don't know much about biology, to be honest. I didn't have the best biology teachers in school, and so I never really was interested in learning more at that time, so I kind of missed out on a little bit. But yeah, it's a really interesting audiobook. I think I have like 2 hours left, so I will finish that as well this week, and then we'll see what I listen to after that. But that is really interesting, so yeah, would recommend at the moment. It's not quite 5 stars. I wish the author would have read the audiobook himself, because he's great at telling his stories. If you watch, put into YouTube Wired Thor Hansen interviews, fantastic interviews. He is fantastic, but the book is read by somebody else, but I would have wished for him to read it, you know. But yeah, that is kind of the reading update for now. I am still knitting at the moment. I will show you tomorrow, because it's still upstairs and I'm downstairs and I don't want to go up, to be honest. So yeah, I will show you that tomorrow, and I do need to do a little bit of a cleanup, because on Saturday some friends come around with their dog to try out if she's more comfortable with us now. Well, she was comfortable with us the last time she came around, but she was so young that she peed all over our place, and they asked if we could look after her for another week, and I said only if they come around before that and we make sure that she isn't still peeing all over the place, because I can't do that for another week. Let me tell you, I mean, it's one thing if it's your own puppy, but if it's the puppy of friends, it's just not working, you know? But yeah, so they come around on Saturday with their dog, who's now like over a year old, so should hopefully be fine. So yeah, I might need to do the last check-in on Sunday, but I think that's fine, you know. So yeah, I'll see you tomorrow morning. Let's be honest. Let's talk about Fallen. I just finished reading it, and I do think I need to start this series from the beginning. I looked into the ratings, and obviously a lot of people really love the book. It has 4.2 stars on Goodreads, I think. For me, it was a three-star read, and I think it's because of not knowing the characters, and it's really weird to be thrown in there. So yeah, I think this is actually a series you need to read in order, which I was surprised by, because to be honest, there are a lot of like crime series thrillers out there. I feel like you don't need to read in order because it just doesn't matter, but this one I think definitely needs to be, especially because this book is about Faith, Will Trent's partner, and you don't have a really realize the relationship they have, because obviously you don't know if you didn't read the other books, and so at points it's just really weird because they don't feel like partners, but I feel like there's like, you know, some kind of relationship before that that kind of explains that, I assume. So yeah, I gave it 3 stars. I liked when the story went, but I just wasn't convinced by the book, you know. So I am thinking about maybe like just blending the first one from the library and then looking into that and seeing where I maybe if I like that one a lot better, and if I like that one a lot better, I will probably continue with the series. If I don't like that one better, I won't. If you have read the series, maybe just leave me down below a comment if you liked it and if you think it's worth going back to the first one and then reading them in like how they are meant to be read, obviously. But yeah, I think Fallen is a harsh title for the book, if you know the ending, but then again, you don't want to spoil anything, so it kind of makes sense. It's obviously really important the time that this book plays in, which I didn't realize. If it, you know, you don't really have that many like pointers to when it plays, and only when it comes up in what a time our main character had her first child and stuff, only then it gets kind of like brought up. So I thought that was a little bit annoying, to be honest. But yeah. And yeah, I thought when I'm down here, I will now show you my knitting project and my crochet projects. So the first one is this one, which is just really boring, but you know, I'm still doing it, and it looks like really nothing, but I'm doing like a rug for my small room. This will just fill up the space next to the shelves, because I don't have flooring in there, it's just the cement, and I don't want to put flooring in there because it's just not worth it. And so yeah, I took this really warm wool yarn. It's acrylic yarn, but you know, it's really warm, and I'm just learning basic stitches right now, so I thought that would be a good well, learning piece, to be honest. And so yeah, that is the first piece that I'm doing right now. That is pretty much my like listening to an audiobook, lying in bed doing that kind of piece. And then the second piece I'm doing right now, let me figure this out how it goes. This is actually a knitted cardigan I'm doing, and I don't know how much you can see because it's black obviously and it's dark, but yeah, I'm this far. These two things are the armholes that are held closed until I come to them, and yeah, it's gonna be like an oversized, nice cardigan, but yeah, it will take forever. And I did order a lot of yarn today because I have a lot of ideas, and it's a great new hobby, to be honest. I'm really loving it, and it turns out my mother used to do it a lot when I was a child. I just didn't remember, and when I phoned her yesterday, we talked about it, and she was really happy for me to take it up. So yeah, I'm really happy about that. And then we have another review. I finished my audiobook yesterday evening, so let me talk about that one as well. I just need to pull it up here because I always forget the name. I don't think I've told you my opinion yet. If not, I'm gonna cut it together so that it makes sense. So the audiobook is called Hurricane Lizard and Plastic Squid by Thor Hansen, and I gave it 5 stars, I think. It's pretty much a book about climate change, but it's not one of those like everything is bad, we're all gonna die, you know, those facts that we already know, because duh, obviously. It's more one of those books that is like trying to still give you hope and show you that not everything is bad, and how nature changes and adapts and, you know, also suffers, obviously. But yeah, it's really interesting. I don't know, you can really feel like he's really passionate about all of this, and he interviewed a lot of people, but he made all of those interviews and snippets from that really, really interesting. I really like his style of writing and telling the story, so I'm really interested to pick up his other books. So I will do that. He has one about bees, which obviously really important topic, and then I think he has one about fish or sea animals, or animals that live in water. I need to look that up, but yeah. So I really, really like that. 5 stars. If you are in any way interested in like climate change, biology, stuff like that, you have to listen to it. Even if you don't, I think it's good to, you know, familiarize yourself with topics like climate change, because there's no way around it now. So yeah, but let me look up. Go back. So yeah, I gave it 5 stars. I have a lot of problems with Goodreads lately that it doesn't let me finish the books. I don't know, I think I might need an alternative to Goodreads, but I have anything already on there, so I don't know. If you have anything, do you track your reading? Do you have anything else instead of Goodreads that is really, really great? Because Goodreads, the apps really annoy me, and I mean, I program apps, so it's even more annoying, to be honest, that things aren't working. But yeah, 5 stars for the audiobook by Tor Hansen. And yeah, you really have to listen to his Wired interviews. I'm just telling you, they are amazing. I love them. So yeah. Now that I'm done with all of that, I will probably start with Maze Runner tomorrow morning. I won't do anything else today. It is really warm. I read like 250 pages of that book, so yeah, I read a lot today already. So yeah, I will do some gaming now, maybe do some more knitting, and I will talk to you with the beginning update for the Maze Runner. Hopefully that book is better than its reviews, but we'll see, you know, it's an adventure. So I had this really, really nice ending for the vlog planned, and you know, like give you a massive reading update with the Maze Runner and all of that. And then I read like 20 pages this morning, and I had more than enough of Teenage Boys for the next half year. I do still plan to read this book, but you know, I totally forgot that pretty much all of the characters there are teenage boys. And if there's one thing I find to really, really annoying, it's teenage boys. I'm pretty sure girls are much better, but you know, they get written so annoying, and like always these like really dumb and unnecessary like fights and stuff. It's like, you know, you read the first 20 pages and it's like they are sizing up to each other, and yeah, they kind of like all behave like assholes, even though, you know, the situation is that our main character comes out of the hole in the ground and into this community of teenage boys, but somehow they're all like angry and stuff like that. And yeah, I just really wasn't into that, so I didn't DNF it, because I will come back to it at some point. But I think I will need to be in a really especially good mood to read this book. But yeah, it's not it at the moment, to be honest. But yeah, that pretty much changed my reading plans. Instead, I read the beginning of The Farm, which I'm also only like 20 pages in, because I didn't have that much time this morning. So I started The Farm, which is a horror book. And it's pretty much, we have a woman with her daughter, and the woman marries, like, I think he's a university professor for religious stuff, and he lives pretty much really in like a really rural area. And so they move there, and she likes him, but I don't think there's really that much love involved. And the mother isn't that good of a like homemaker in her own descriptions. But yeah, so they move to the house, and right from the beginning, strange things start to happen. So I'm only like 20 pages in, and there already was like, you know, weird noises, footsteps, glass shattering because it fell out of the shelf and stuff like that. So it's a really, really quick beginning. And yeah, the daughter is pretty much, you know, she's only 12, and I think for a 12-year-old she has really a lot of like free decisions she's allowed to make. She is like really like punk goth kind of like, you know, whatever people think moody teenager do, you know. I also kind of like dressed like that at the same time, but you know, it was never a moody teenager thing, so I don't know. It's annoying if, you know, you can only show that somebody is a moody teenager because they dress in black and listen to metal, but whatever floats your boat, you know. But yeah, so she's 12, and she, you know, she wears like studded collars and stuff, which I don't know, it seems so young to do that, but whatever. And so yeah, that's pretty much how far I've come, and there is something wrong in like the farm. There's something going wrong as first as I can say, and also something happened to the first wife of the guy, and I don't know that yet, but it has something to do with what is happening on the farm. But yeah, so I will continue with that one, because I think that fits much better right now. And then yesterday I finished another audiobook that I listened to parallel to the Troy Hansen audiobook. I don't know, it was hard for me rating wise, because I don't know, there were a lot of like things I liked, but there were also a lot of things where I was like, maybe a little bit over the top, you know. I'm still not sure. I did give it, let me get it up. I did give it 4 stars, but I'm not sure if I shouldn't like put that down to 3 stars. But I don't know. The book is called If Nature Were a Narwhal, What Animal Intelligence Reveals About Human Stupidity. And I think the topic is actually really, really interesting. And I also think that the arguments he makes are really, really interesting. In the book is by Justin Gregg. And so he just analyzes the definitions when it comes to intelligence, dumbness, stupidity, all of these like different words and definitions. He looks at those and it's kind of like, yeah, you can't really, you know, compare these things, especially if you tailor intelligence, the definition, to humans. You know, pretty much the famous example of a fish climbing a tree, you know, it will always fail because it just isn't made to do that. But yeah, so he talks about a lot of interesting things. You know, the problem that a lot of people don't think that animals have a conscience, which I do definitely think. And like, you know, when it comes to fears, problem solving, all of those things that kind of define intelligence in a way. But I think the book is really, I think the book is held down by the research, because there's still a lot of research that is being done, and obviously we don't know everything, and a lot of these topics aren't that greatly researched, just because a lot of humans just don't care. So I think maybe the book would have slightly different conclusions if the research was there more. And yeah, the author also, I kind of feel like, is a little bit biased, because he obviously thinks that, I do think he thinks that humans are more intelligent, but that isn't technically a good thing, because obviously we are destroying our planet, the animals aren't. But yeah, I don't know. Which is, you know, I can't really pinpoint if 3 or 4 is more deserving, because the topic was so interesting. You know, learning about all of the like problem solving abilities, communication, for example, animals that do go after the feeling of euphoria and adrenaline and stuff. So actually us being really, really comparable to animals when it comes to that. just like stuff like that. There's a type of ape that they throw themselves off of trees into these really small water basins, kind of like how when we go bungee jumping or like cliff diving, where if you like, you know, go a little bit to the left or right, you might actually die. They do that as well. It's so fascinating. I knew that there were animals that eat fruit that is already turning into alcohol, so they get drunk, which I find to be really funny, you know, that animals like to get drunk. As well as there are a lot of like videos out there of dogs licking mushrooms and then being high. So there's a lot of like examples out there. He, for example, doesn't even mention dogs that choose to get high. So yeah, I think there's some points missing. I think there's some points that need to be better researched, but that isn't the fault of the author, to be honest. But yeah, also I didn't know that much about Nietzsche, and I didn't even know that he like went off the hooks. So really interesting as well, you know. And I think he also, you know, does ask the question if Nietzsche would have been way happier and had a better life if he wouldn't have been a human, which he probably would have, you know. But yeah, so for the time being, I will give it 4 stars. That might change the rating, you know. But yeah, that is the audiobook I listened to. So that is pretty much the week. It is Saturday noon, like we have like 11:30 or something like that, you know. Yeah, I just got ready, cleaned up the apartment and stuff for the friends coming. So yeah, I will end the vlog here because it is a great opportunity to end it here before our friends coming over. And so that I can relax a little bit before they are coming over, you know. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed watching the vlog, and yeah, maybe leave a like, subscribe, and then hopefully I will see you in the next one. Bye bye!